Let me tell you something. If you're comfortable right now, you ain't growing. If your life feels easy, smooth, predictable, you're stuck. Too many people pray for success, but they want it served on a silver platter with extra soft pillows. They say, I want to be great, but they don't want to go through anything to get there. They want the reward without the work, the prize without the process, the victory without the battle. But let's get one thing straight. Greatness doesn't live in comfort. It lives in the unknown, in the struggle, in the moments that test you, stretch you, and make you question if you even have what it takes. See, people love the idea of success, but they don't always love the reality of what it takes to get there. And the reality is, if you aren't uncomfortable, you aren't moving forward. Now, I know some people hear that and think, but what's wrong with wanting an easy life? What's wrong with wanting things to be stable and predictable? Nothing, if you want to stay exactly where you are. But if you want more, if you want to grow, if you want to achieve something bigger, if you want to live a life that truly fulfills you, then you have to understand that discomfort is not the enemy, it's the pathway. Think about it. Everything in nature grows through some level of discomfort. A seed has to break through the soil before it can become a tree. A caterpillar has to fight its way out of the cocoon before it can become a butterfly. Even muscles, if you want them to get stronger, you have to push them past their limits. If you never lift anything heavy, your muscles stay weak. That's how life works. If you never challenge yourself, if you never put yourself in situations that stretch you, you will stay exactly where you are. The problem is most people don't want to go through that uncomfortable phase. They want to wake up one day and suddenly be successful. But let me tell you something. Success is not an elevator, it's a staircase. And the higher you want to go, the harder the climb. The question is, are you willing to keep stepping even when your legs are burning? You ever notice how babies learn to walk? They don't just stand up one day and take off running. They wobble, they fall, they struggle. But you know what they don't do? They don't quit. You will never see a baby fall down and say, you know what, walking just ain't for me. No, they get back up, they keep trying, and eventually they figure it out. But grown folks, oh, they quit all the time. They try something new, they fail once, and they say, maybe this just isn't for me. They start a business, hit a rough patch, and decide, maybe I'm not cut out for this. They go after a dream, face rejection, and suddenly think, maybe I should just settle for what I have. But let me tell you something. Every time you quit because it gets hard, you rob yourself of the life you could have had. See, discomfort is a test. Life wants to know, how bad do you really want it? Are you willing to push past the fear, the uncertainty, the struggle? Are you willing to embrace the tough times to get to the other side? Because if you are, I promise you what's on the other side is worth it. But if you're not, if you choose comfort over growth, if you choose safety over possibility, if you choose to stay the same because change feels too hard, then you will never reach your full potential. And deep down, you'll always wonder what could have been. So today, make the decision to stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it. If you feel scared, that's a sign you're on the right track. If you feel nervous, that means you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. If you feel uncertain, congratulations, you're growing. Because everything you want, the success, the fulfillment, the life you dream about, is not in your comfort zone. It's out there, in the unknown, waiting for you to stop hesitating and go after it. So, are you ready to get uncomfortable? Because that's the first step to becoming everything you were meant to be. Let's get one thing straight. Growth does not happen in comfort. You cannot stay the same and expect different results. You cannot live the same routine, avoid challenges, and still expect to become the best version of yourself. That's not how life works. Think about anything in nature that grows. A seed has to push through the dirt before it can become a tree. That process isn't pretty, it's dark, it's messy, it's uncomfortable. But if that seed stays safe underground, afraid to break out, it would never reach its full potential. And the same thing applies to you. See, most people want growth, but they don't want discomfort. They want progress, but they don't want the process. They want to be strong, but they don't want to go through the struggle that makes them strong. And that's why so many people stay stuck. They say, I want more out of life, but the moment life pushes them outside their comfort zone, they retreat. They say, this is too hard, and they go back to what's familiar, even if what's familiar isn't fulfilling them. But let's be real. Comfort is dangerous. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It feels good, it feels safe, but it keeps you stuck. You ever meet somebody who's been in the same job for 10, 15, 20 years? Miserable, but they won't leave because at least they know what to expect. That's comfort. You ever see somebody stay in a relationship that's not making them happy, but they stay anyway because starting over feels too scary? That's comfort. And here's the truth. Comfort will keep you exactly where you are. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't stretch you. It doesn't demand more from you. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Now, some people say, but I don't like feeling uncomfortable. Of course you don't. Nobody does. But let me ask you something. Have you ever worked out after a long time of doing nothing? That first workout hurts, doesn't it? Your muscles ache. You feel sore. And everything in you wants to quit. But if you keep going, something amazing happens. The pain turns into strength. The soreness turns into endurance. And eventually you become stronger than you ever thought possible. That's what discomfort does. It stretches you, it challenges you, and eventually it transforms you. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. None of them got to where they are by staying comfortable. They all had to push through fear, rejection, failure, and uncertainty. They had to step into the unknown. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine if he had said, well, I guess basketball just isn't for me. We wouldn't even know his name today. Oprah, fired from her first TV job. Imagine if she had said, maybe I'm not meant for this. She wouldn't be the powerhouse she is now. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent. It isn't luck. It's that successful people refuse to let discomfort stop them. They use it as fuel. Now let me make this practical. If you're feeling stuck in life, ask yourself, when was the last time you did something that made you uncomfortable? When was the last time you pushed yourself beyond what was easy? When was the last time you took a risk, tried something new, or faced a fear? Because if it's been a while, that's your problem. Growth isn't something that just happens. It's something you have to chase. If you want to build confidence, put yourself in situations that require courage. If you want to be a leader, step into roles that force you to take responsibility. If you want to be successful, start doing things that scare you, challenge you, and push you beyond what you think you're capable of. Discomfort isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the thing that forces you to become better, stronger, and wiser. Every time you push past discomfort, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. So from now on, don't run from discomfort, run toward it, because that's the only place where true growth happens. Let's talk about fear. Most people treat fear like a stop sign. The moment they feel scared, they slam on the brakes and turn around. They think this must be a sign that I shouldn't do this. But let me tell you something. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a green light. It's life's way of telling you you're headed in the right direction. See, fear only shows up when you're about to do something that matters, when you're stepping into new territory, when you're getting close to a breakthrough. Fear is the body's natural response to the unknown, but too many people let it control their decisions. They let it keep them small. They let it keep them in jobs they hate, in lives that don't fulfill them, in dreams they never chase. And that right there is the biggest mistake you can make, letting fear stop you from living the life you were meant to live. Now let me ask you something. Think about the last time you were really scared to do something. Maybe it was speaking in front of a crowd. Maybe it was starting a new job. Maybe it was investing in yourself for the first time. Whatever it was, I want you to think back to that moment. Your heart was racing, your hands got sweaty, your mind started coming up with every excuse in the book. But then, if you pushed through it, something incredible happened. The fear faded and it was replaced with confidence. Because once you actually did the thing, you realized it wasn't as scary as you thought. You proved to yourself that you could handle it. And that's the secret right there. Fear doesn't go away before you take action. It goes away because you take action. The problem is most people wait for fear to disappear before they start. They say, I'll go after my dream when I feel ready. They say, I'll take that risk when I feel more confident. They say, I'll step out when I stop being scared. But guess what? That moment never comes because confidence isn't what you need to start. Courage is. Confidence comes later, after you've faced the fear, after you've stepped out, after you've proven to yourself that you can handle it. See, the most successful people in the world aren't fearless. They just don't let fear stop them. They feel the fear and do it anyway. They understand that fear is just excitement in disguise. You ever notice how fear and excitement feel the same? The racing heart, the butterflies, the adrenaline. The only difference is your mindset. Think about a roller coaster. Right before that big drop, your stomach flips, your mind panics, and you start questioning all your life choices. But then the drop happens, and suddenly you're screaming, laughing, feeling more alive than ever. That's life. The things that scare you the most are usually the things that will make you feel the most alive. But here's the thing. If you never get on the ride, you never get to experience that feeling. And that's exactly what happens when people let fear hold them back. They stay in the line, watching everybody else take the ride, wondering what it would be like, but never actually getting on. Now, let's talk about what happens when you avoid fear for too long, when you let it run your life. Every time you back away from something because it scares you, you're teaching yourself to shrink. You're reinforcing the idea that you can't handle discomfort, that you're not strong enough, that you should just stay in your little bubble where it's safe. And before you know it, you've built a life that's comfortable but unfulfilling, safe but small, predictable but empty. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather live a life full of risks, full of challenges, full of moments that push me to grow than a life where I never take a chance. So here's what I want you to do. Start using fear as a guide. Instead of running from the things that scare you, start moving toward them. Because fear is usually a sign that you're about to step into something bigger than yourself. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. If your goal doesn't make you a little nervous, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. If your next move doesn't make you feel slightly uncomfortable, you're playing too small. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is proof that you're headed towards something meaningful. So the next time you feel afraid, don't back down. Don't overthink it. Just take the step, because everything you want in life is waiting for you on the other side of fear. Let's talk about risk. The thing that separates successful people from everybody else isn't luck, talent, or who they know. It's their willingness to take risks. They bet on themselves when nobody else would. They step into the unknown when everybody else plays it safe. They understand that if you never take a risk, you never get the reward. See, most people want success, but they don't want to take risks. They want to win, but they don't want to roll the dice. They want a guarantee before they take the first step. And that right there, that need for certainty, is why most people never get what they truly want out of life. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should be reckless. I'm not saying you should throw all your money into something without thinking it through. What I'm saying is that if you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect guarantee that everything will work out, you're going to be waiting forever. Because there is no perfect moment. There is no 100% guarantee, and there never will be. Everything worth having comes with a level of uncertainty. Starting a business, no guarantee it will succeed. Moving to a new city, no guarantee it'll be easy. Putting yourself out there, no guarantee people will support you. But let me ask you something. What's the alternative? Because staying where you are might feel safe, but is it really? Is it really safe to wake up every day and feel unfulfilled? Is it really safe to spend your life wondering, what if? Is it really safe to let fear keep you in the same place year after year? See, we've been tricked into thinking that not taking risks is the safer option. But the truth is, playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do. Because if you never take a chance, you guarantee that nothing in your life will ever change. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather take a risk and fail than sit back and regret never trying. Now let's be real. Risk is uncomfortable. It forces you out of your routine, out of what's familiar, out of everything you know. But let's flip that for a second. What if the very thing you're avoiding is the thing that could change your life? What if that business idea you keep putting off is the thing that could set you free? What if that opportunity you're scared to take is the one that could open every door? What if the risk you're afraid of isn't a risk at all, but the key to your next level? Successful people don't avoid risk, they manage it. They understand that fear is natural, but they don't let it make their decisions. They know that failure is possible, but they don't let that stop them from trying. They take calculated risks. They make bold moves, and because of that, they get bold rewards. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest leaders. They all took risks. They stepped into uncertainty. They bet on themselves when nobody else would, because they knew that the reward is always on the other side of the risk. Let's make it real. Imagine two people. One stays in the same job for 30 years, even though they're unhappy because it feels safe. The other takes a risk, starts something new, and builds the life they actually want. Now tell me, who really played it safe? The one who spent 30 years unhappy, or the one who took a chance and created something better? Now, I get it. Taking risks is scary. But you know what's even scarier? Waking up one day and realizing you never went after what you truly wanted. Realizing you let fear dictate your decisions. Realizing you played it safe your whole life, and now it's too late to change. So let me ask you, what's the risk you need to take? What's the thing you've been putting off because it feels uncertain? What's the move you've been scared to make? Because whatever it is, it's time. Time to stop hesitating. Time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Time to stop letting fear run the show, because success doesn't come to people who sit on the sidelines. It comes to people who step into the game. It comes to people who take risks, bet on themselves, and go after what they want, even when it's scary. So today I want you to make a decision. Are you going to keep playing it safe, or are you going to take the risk, chase the dream, and go after the life you were meant to live? Because the reward is in the risk. And if you want the reward, it's time to stop waiting and start moving. We've talked about growth, fear, and risk. We've broken down why discomfort is necessary, why fear is actually a green light, and why the biggest rewards in life only come from taking chances. But now we've reached the most important part, the decision. Because you can listen to all the motivational speeches in the world. You can read every self-help book. You can write down all your goals in a fancy journal, but if you don't make a decision to act, none of it will matter. See, most people get stuck in the almost stage. They almost take the leap. They almost chase their dream. They almost make the change, but almost doesn't get results. Almost doesn't lead to greatness. Almost is just another word for standing still. So my question to you is this. Are you ready to move? Are you ready to take that first step? Because nobody is coming to push you. Nobody is going to hold your hand. Nobody is going to do the work for you. This is your journey, your future, your responsibility. Now, I get it. Change is hard. The unknown is scary. But let me tell you what's even harder, staying in the same place when you know you were made for more. Waking up every day with the weight of regret. living a life where you never take the chances that could change everything. So let's get real for a second. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, where will you be 5 years from today? Think about it. If you keep letting fear make your decisions, if you keep avoiding discomfort, if you keep playing it safe, what does your future look like? Are you living your dream, or are you watching other people live theirs? Are you stepping into your greatness, or are you staying in the background? Are you proud of the risks you took, or are you sitting with a list of what ifs? Now let's flip that. Imagine what happens if today you decide differently. If today you make a commitment to yourself that you will no longer let fear, doubt, or uncertainty hold you back. Imagine what your life could look like if you took the leap, if you embraced discomfort, if you bet on yourself. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you're on the path you were meant to be on. Imagine looking back 5 years from now and realizing that one decision, one choice changed everything. Imagine stepping fully into your potential and seeing just how powerful you really are. That version of you exists. That future is possible. But it will never happen if you don't make the decision to go after it. Because let's be honest, most people won't. Most people will stay comfortable. Most people will let fear run their lives. Most people will keep waiting for the right time, not realizing that waiting is the very thing holding them back. But you don't have to be most people. You can be the one who breaks the cycle. You can be the one who steps into the unknown and creates something incredible. You can be the one who looks fear in the face and moves forward anyway. So here's what I want you to do. Today, right now, I want you to commit to taking action. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, now. Because now is all you have. Maybe for you, that action is finally starting that business. Maybe it's making the phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's applying for the job, signing up for the class, booking the ticket, writing the first page. Whatever it is, do it. Stop overthinking. Stop doubting. Stop waiting. Just take the step, because once you do, something amazing will happen. You'll realize that fear was never as big as you made it out to be. You'll see that discomfort wasn't the enemy. It was the key to your growth. You'll experience the kind of freedom that only comes from taking control of your own destiny. And when you look back on your life, you won't remember the times you played it safe. You won't remember the times you stayed comfortable. You won't remember the moments you avoided risk. No, you'll remember the times you stepped up, the moments you took a chance, the decisions that changed everything. So today, make the choice. Step into your greatness, take the risk, embrace the discomfort, feel the fear, and do it anyway, because this is your life, and the only thing standing between you and everything you want is you. Now go make it happen.